Ricardo.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How are you today?
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Fine, thank you. Yes, so how are you?
Good. Perfect.
Good? All right. So you like mornings then?
A little bit.
A little bit. Appears that you are a morning person. So let me just give you a sense of what we're going to be doing today. Well, first of all, thank you for your time today and for coming in for this interview. The purpose here is for us to ask a few questions, get a sense if you're a good fit for the company, for the team, and just to get let's say, a better insight into you as a person in terms of what you can contribute. By the way, do you have something for us?
Yes. So here's my portfolio.
Okay.
And if you would like to see my English skill, here's like my research paper.
Okay.
And as I mentioned that I have my strategic planning and analyzing skill, I have actually made a book for Delta Airline for strategic planning and analyzing and what should they do.
Oh, okay. Very impressive. Okay. Well, definitely I'll be asking some questions about these projects of yours. Thank you. Really appreciate it. So let's start the interview. Again, I don't want you to view it as questions and answers, but more of a discussion, again, to give us a better sense of you as a person. Let's start out with a very basic, very simple question, but very important one. What can you tell us about yourself?
So, okay, my name is Tanja Schmidt, and I am half Thai, half German. I can speak Thai, English, and German very fluently, and I am the kind of person who loves presentations and loves public speaking, loves to communicate with others, talk to other people, and what I can tell is I used to hate strategic planning and stuff, but like after I have done it, I think that that's actually my strength, and like I can think strategically.
Okay. What does strategic planning appeal to you? Why do you now identify it as your strength?
Because for me, I think it's really important for the organization to have it, because if you have strategic skills, you can think strategically and like predict how should you do for your company and your organization to increase the value towards the customers, so like the customer would feel like, oh, they're improving. And it could also become a strength for the organization since you would have more competitive advantage and core competencies.
Okay. All right, so let's look a little bit at your education. So I can see here from your resume, Stanford International University, very solid GPA. You have a major in international business management.
Yes.
So why did you choose that particular major, and also give me a sense of what is international business management?
So first of all, I didn't want to become a specialist, because if I took marketing, I would only know about marketing and I would only know the basics of accounting or financing. But international business is like you're knowing the whole organization. You know marketing, you know financing, you know accounting. It makes you become an all-rounder, and you would have more sense of the organization. How is the organization running? In what area is it weak? How can you improve this? How can you improve that? So I think that international business management is actually like an all-rounder course, which allows you to see the whole organization and be able to predict and like do things more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sticking with your education, I want to dig a little deeper, and perhaps we we can be looking at, the materials that you have presented.
Sure.
I want you to be specific. I want you to give me an example. Highlight something, a particular project or activity, but break it down using the STAR method. Break it down in terms of the situation, the task, the action, the result, and what you learned from it.
Okay, sure. Well, I would definitely pick this one, strategic management, because at first I was very weak with my case study. I didn't know how to analyze the case, but after I have took this course, it is actually pretty easy. It's like you would need to read the case first, and then after that you would need to analyze the resources of the company first and the external factors like the politics, government of the country, how it affects the organization. Then after that you have the resources. Then later on you combine these two and make it a graph, show it like in which position are you compared to the competitors, what are they better and what are we weaker, where can we improve. And then we would move on to the supply chain, where how can we create value for customers through supply chain, like creating values for them, which there would be a whole lot of like factors, like for example human resources, distribution, and then later on you would come up with a business strategy and the corporate strategy to show which way is the best way for this company to do in order to gain more competitive advantage and to be able to compete with the competitors better.
Okay. Now, taking a look at what you just said, and then taking a look at this, do you feel more comfortable working independently or as part of a team?
For me, I have no problem working independently, but as a team is also fine for me.
Okay, because I can see from here, this was an individual project.
That's right.
And it's quite substantive here. So, again, that would probably communicate maybe a preference or perhaps an ability to work independently. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. This is very, very impressive. Very good structure in terms of the organization, but it's also very, very comprehensive. There's a lot here, a lot. So looking at this, I mean, what did you learn about yourself in terms of approaching this project, completing the project? Because again, this seems like it was a heavy one to deal with on an individual basis. What did you learn about yourself dealing with this project?
Well, I learned that I can do more than I think. Like at first, this project is only given like 2.5 weeks time, and I thought that I couldn't do it. But I finished it 3 days earlier before the due date, which allows me to know that I have more ability than I think.
Okay. And when you think about, let's say, abilities, what else have you learned while being a student at Stanford International University? Again, you walk into a university, but by the certain time, you have perhaps a better idea. What other abilities have you been able to discover about yourself?
Well, definitely talking to different kinds of people, because okay, if it's in other universities, they are not as diversified as Stanford. But here they are very diversified. There is many culture, many different people from different parts of the world, which they would like to be treated differently from my point of view. And I've learned that to talk to different people differently, treat them differently, because some people might not like this and some people might not like that, and that allows me to know who is how, and like I have more like sense of how people are.
Okay. How do you handle pressure?
Pressure, well, if there's any pressure, normally I would take like some 5 or 10 minute rest, like in between, so that I can clear my brain, go walk around, and then come back and then do my work and finish it again.
Okay. When you look at, let's say, your multicultural background, how has your background prepared you for, let's say, a professional career, a global professional career?
Well, I've been traveling through many different countries, which allow me to have like that thinking of like different people, because like in each country they have different culture. This allows me to be more like not in the comfort zone. I'm willing to go out of my comfort zone to see how are their cultures and blend into with them, and like stay with them as if I am one of them, to make them feel more comfortable as well.
Okay. When you say that you've been outside of your home country traveling, can you give me an example of one place, one country where you really, let's say, learned something very new, but also perhaps learned something about yourself?
Well, I've been in Vietnam, and I really like Vietnam actually. But one thing I learned there is that people, they think that I am Vietnamese, and they started talking Vietnamese to me, and then I'm like, oh my god, okay, I'm sorry, but can you speak English to me, because like I'm just like a traveler. And then they were like, oh really? But like I had made many friends there, and like I still keep contact with them, and we went around, and it's actually really fun, and I have learned many new things, like going around with new friends. They had let me allow me to learn the history of Vietnam as well, and see Vietnam as a Vietnamese, not as a tourist, and that's what I really like.
Okay, excellent experience. Very, very fortunate on your part. All right, let's take a look at the industry, the company, your position. Let's get down to it. Why BMW? What can you tell us about BMW? But why do you want to work with BMW?
Well, first of all, I'm born in Germany, and through my blood, all of our family are Bavarian, and this firm is a Bavarian firm, right? So that's one reason, and the next reason is that BMW is a very great automobile firm. It's the most sustainable firm in the whole world, according to the statistic this last year, 2016, which shows that this firm actually cares a lot about people and environment, which is what I really like.
Okay. So that appeals to you?
Yes.
Okay. The sustainability approach of BMW. Why? Why does it appeal to you?
Because most of the firm, they don't really care about the environment, and they are destroying the world every day. But like BMW, they care about the environment. They make the country, the place, to be more friendly, to be more a place that everyone would like to live there.
Okay. Are there any particular, let's say, products of BMW that you're very interested in, or that you perhaps know about?
Well, I actually really love BMW Series 3, and I'm actually planning that one day I'll buy it.
Okay, why that one?
Because I think that one, it's the right size. It's not too big, it's not too small. It could be a family car as well, but it's also okay if you're driving alone. And as I have looked at it, you can actually change from comfort mode into sport mode when you actually would like to drive sportly. And I am the kind of person who really likes to drive sportly, so I think that would be the perfect match.
Okay. Now, looking at the industry, all right, the automotive industry is very competitive. It's global. When you look at the automotive industry right now, what would you say are the two biggest challenges for the automotive industry? I mean, regardless of BMW, what do you see in the world right now with regards to challenges for the automotive industry?
I think it's the introduction of the electric car. because right now, okay, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Nissan. Okay, Nissan is working on electric car, but both of BMW and Mercedes-Benz, they already have electric car in Thailand. But the challenges is that they are producing electric car, but the electric station are very less for the consumers, and that might be the challenge for them. But like I've seen around in Bangkok, Mercedes-Benz has already produced some electric station for their cars, and I've seen for BMW as well. But for the Japanese car like Nissan, I've never seen of it. And I think that might be the challenge because some people would like to buy electric car, but the problem for them is they wouldn't be able to find a station outside of Bangkok, since right now they only have it in Bangkok.
Okay. Is there another challenge that you see in terms of the automotive industry?
Well, it wouldn't be for BMW and Mercedes-Benz because they already have the hybrid car, but like the other firms like Toyota and Honda, they are like promoting hybrid car very much because like they think that it would become the next trend.
Okay. What can you tell me about BMW in Thailand?
BMW in Thailand, well, what I have seen is that before there were very less BMW, but right now it's like increasing and increasing. You would be able to find more BMWs right now than before, which shows that people are becoming more loyalty to the brand, and they know that the brand has a very high quality, so they would like to have that as well, and that's why the sales are increasing.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at your position. All right, press and public relations. Again, you're expressing an interest as an intern.
Yes.
Why? I mean, why do you want to be in terms of as an intern? Why do you want this press and public relations? What does it appeal to you?
Well, for me, I'm very good at communicating. Presentation skills is also very good, and public speaking skills, which I think that in this department, press and public relations, you would need to communicate with many different departments, which this is my strength. I can be able to communicate with many different peoples because I have that skills, and also I can communicate 3 different languages fluently. And also, if you're communicating back to the headquarters, I would also be able to help you since I can speak German as well.
Okay. What do you find challenging about, press and public relations? I mean, there has to be a challenge. I mean, so what do you find challenging about it?
Yes, definitely is like people, because you have to go through many different kinds of people and communicate with them, and everyone, they are different, which they somehow would like to be treated differently. And that might be the challenge because I would need to become familiar with each different person first, like how are they and how can I communicate to them like the best way.
Okay. All right. Well, you mentioned a few strengths. In fact, you've sprinkled your strengths throughout all of your responses. But what is your major weakness?
Well, as you have mentioned earlier, that I look like a morning person, but actually I'm not. Like when I wake up, I would become very, very moody. I just don't know why, but I have the cure for that, whereas I would wake up like around 1 hour ahead and shower with cold water, which would definitely fresh me up.
Okay. All right. I like to, let's say, explore something which again, maybe you've already given it some thought, but what are your future plans?
My future plans?
What's in the next 5 years?
Okay, in my 5 years, I think that I would definitely finish my MBA because I'm planning to do it after my bachelor degree and working at the same time.
Working and doing your master's at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you want to do that? Why don't you just simply want to take some time off of work and then do your studies and then come back?
Well, during my bachelor degree, there was this time where I had to take over my family business, and I actually found out that if you're working and studying at the same time, you would have more sense of how the actual business in the real world is running, and you would be able to apply that to the theory. Because if you're only studying, you would only think of like the theory basis and not the practical basis. So that is actually a great thing to like blend it together. That's what I actually discovered, and I think that doing MBA and working at the same time would actually help me. Some people might think that it's hard, but I think that it's the best way.
Okay. I'd like to, let's say, kind of go back a little bit. With regards to the position, what would you say are the key duties and responsibilities of being involved in public relations?
Well, first of all, you would need to be concerned about the company image. So you would have to present the company to the customers very good so that they would have a positive thinking of the brand image. But also you would need to communicate with other departments very well in order to give the right information to the customer and not like, for example, marketing said, I don't want this, but you are doing right the opposite side. So I think that that's also really important.
Okay, well, let me pick up on something that you have mentioned. Image, all right, brand. So tell me, what is BMW's image? What is its brand?
Well, definitely the quality, the car, they are very strong. If you see like a car crash test of BMW and like the Japanese car, like for example Honda or Toyota, you could see that BMW can actually like save the drivers more than the Japanese car. Since like when they have the same speed crash, Toyota might already got crashed away, but like BMW might only got crashed like half of the car, something like that.
Okay, all right. What do you have, what do you possess that can contribute to the success, the growth, and expansion of BMW? How can you contribute?
Well, since I have my strategic planning skill, I think that I could be able to come up with like a new plan for your company, like what should you do to have more competitive advantage and what could increase your strength and value towards the customer.
Okay. One final question. Are you ready for the challenges, responsibility of this internship?
Yes, definitely.
Why? Why?
Because, okay, like I've been through many different barriers and I'm actually not scared of barriers or challenges anymore. So I am ready for it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciated, the opportunity to have met you in person, to have had this discussion. We have your contact details. We will be in touch with you. And again, it was a real pleasure to have had this discussion with you. So,
it's a pleasure to meet you too. Thank you for considering me for this job.
Well, thank you. So,
thank you.
Wish you all the best.
You too.
All right, thank you.
Thank
all right,
you.
Tanja, that was excellent. Your internship
In 2 terms.
in 2 terms. Have you already contacted them?
Not yet. Like maybe I'm thinking of during my holiday I would contact them.
Okay, yeah, because if I was you, I'd start building some bridges right now. And yeah, I would say that everything that you said right now, perhaps polishing it up a little bit more, basically kind of communicate to them I'm the right person for you. I mean, you have a lot to offer. So, start communicating it now rather than later, because as you correctly pointed out, it's a German company. Germans think differently than Americans, all right? Germans, it takes a little bit more time for them to make decisions, but once they make a decision, it's based upon all this information. So rather than waiting, start giving them the information now. So that way, when they have to, let's say, make a selection, naturally will go to you. So that would be my recommendation. But you do really well. I mean, really, really well. You communicate a lot of confidence. I think maybe with regards to the brand, to the image, try to get that, answer a little bit more concise.
Okay.
You can definitely say like quality engineering, quality, it's, how can I say, it's not just simply quality, but there's a luxury behind it. BMW is all luxury, right? I mean, it's the quality plus luxury, which a lot of people, find it's a nice balance. But you did really well, okay?
Thank you.
I mean, really, really well. I don't, again, this course, I'm not quite sure if it really helped you with anything because you already have, all the necessary skills. You need this back.
It's okay, you can keep it. Okay.
Okay.
I did it for...
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I really did enjoy this interview with you. Really enjoyed it. I wish I had more time because I felt that you had a lot that you could offer. You knew a lot. And keep in mind that in many instances, if you have a very short interview, it's because all they want to do is kind of just see you right there in person, and they perhaps have already made a decision. Or they could actually have a very long interview in terms of they really want to get a better sense of what you know and how you can contribute. And that's the key. It's the contribution. So keep in mind that even though you want an internship, don't sell yourself as an intern. All right, start looking at yourself as, let's say, a prospective, team member of BMW in Thailand. I mean, that's what I would do. Intern, it's only 3 months. Try to go beyond that. Try to emphasize, hey, I can do a little bit more for you rather than just simply being an intern. And make sure that whatever internship you get with BMW, that it's substantive. All right, I mean, that you're able to apply everything that you have learned here, and not only just simply apply it, but you can learn new things about BMW, about the automotive industry, about public relations. So, I wish you all the best. I mean, I really hope that, you get this opportunity, but start planning for it now rather than waiting. So, again, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.